A lot of students have trouble playing with different hands on the piano. If you're left hand, you probably have a little bit more trouble with your right hand. If you're right-handed, you probably have a little bit more trouble with your left hand. Both are extremely important when it comes to playing music. Well, today, lucky for you left-handers, we are talking about how to improve with your right hand, and I'm going to give you an example to help out just that. But if you are right-handed, this example can help your right hand even better. So when you put things hands together, it'll be even better. So let's get right on to the exercise. Okay, so this right hand example is going to help you in the following ways. It's going to help you play a simple 5-finger pattern, meaning that you're going to be here from C to G, and you're just really going to be playing up and down from there. You're going to see once we get started on the example here. Another great thing is it has a very simple left hand to it. Now, I recommend if you're new to this kind of thing to learn it hands separate first. Like you do the right hand first, and then you learn the left hand, and then you put them together. Another great thing you're going to get out of this is that you are going to be working in between each of your fingers. So between your thumb and pointer, pointer and middle, middle and ring, things like that. So it's going to be working out different parts of your hands. Going further a little bit, it kind of goes back in the reverse direction, so you get that going on there. And then you have thirds, meaning that you're playing a note and you're skipping a note. You have these stacked notes, so you have C and E, D and F. And I give you the fingering for playing these effectively, which you can use when you're playing a real song. And then lastly, lots of thirds there. It's going to help you play an arpeggio pattern with the correct fingering so you don't run out of fingers. So let's start right from the beginning and play through this thing. Okay, so here we are starting from the very beginning. So you're obviously going to start learning out your right hand. And like I said, it starts with a very simple 5-finger pattern on quarter notes. After that, it's going to go same thing but in eighth notes. And then you're going to, like I said before, going to be working, playing eighth notes in between each of the fingers. And then it goes down from there. And then your stacked thirds. I've written in the fingering here for you. Make sure you use the fingering, or you will run out of fingers when you're playing this. And this part of the exercise really works between the bottom portion of your hand and then the top portion of your hand. So it's very useful for that. And then I'm just going to you can kind of play through that on your own. Make sure to just keep using the same fingering I gave you before. Then you're going to end out with this arpeggio at the end. Make sure that if you're used to playing a 3-note triad, playing 1, 3, 5, you're going to be extending your hand out. So you can play 1, 2, 3, 5, 3, 2, 1. Back to the beginning. So I'm going to play through this whole thing right now. Okay, so here we go. I'm just going to play the right hand by itself, which is where you want to start if you're new to this. Let me scroll down. This part's a real workout, as you'll find. Lots of coordination and things going on with your hands. So there you go. There is the right hand part. When you put in the left hand, one of the great things about this is the left hand just plays whole notes the whole time. So it's pretty easy to follow along with, but it is an extra level of coordination. So if you're not used to playing both hands together, spend a while on the right hand. Like I said, the focus of this exercise is all on the right hand. You're especially going to find that part with the thirds to be a challenge. What should you do if you find it too challenging? What should you do? That's the question. So you should A, speed it up, or B, slow it down. So I would definitely pick B every single time. You want to slow it down until you feel comfortable with it. And then once you feel comfortable with it, put it hands together. Okay, so just to have it up on the screen, you want to first learn this exercise hands separate. Then you want to put it hands together slowly. And then last, you want to practice it every day for, I would say, 4 or more weeks. Even if you have it mastered within a day, keep practicing it because a lot of it is designed to really help develop your coordination in your hand. And that's not something that you can develop in one day. So you really need to practice it every day for, I would say, at least a month. Now what we're going to do is I'm going to open up the live stream, or the classroom rather, or the floor they call it sometimes, for questions. What questions do you have about playing with the right hand? What questions do you have about the exercise we did today? Okay, Sri has a great question. What BPM or beats per minute do I recommend you practice the song? So this is for those of us who like to use the metronome, and you set the number, whether it's like 120 or 60, that's how many beats happen in a minute. Obviously, if you set it to 60, that's 1 beat every second. I would start out maybe at 40 to 60, and then you want to bump it up, if you can tackle that just fine, bump it up maybe to 80, practice that a few times, and then once you feel comfortable with that, bump it up to 100, and then the top I want you to practice this at, which would be the very top, would be 120. If you can't quite get there, don't worry about it. If you can get maybe into the 80 to 100 range, I think you can probably get most of what this exercise has to offer you. Robert has a great question. Do I recommend practicing the same pattern with the left as well? So to answer this question, I have two answers. One, I have a different lesson with a left hand pattern on it. I'm going to link it to you in the description once the video is posted. But the second thing is that yes, so if you are competent enough that you can switch hands, you play basically the right hand part with your left hand part with your right hand, then you can do that, and I think that would be helpful as well. So that's my answer to that question. A very good question. Okay, if you want to learn more about playing with each hand or both hands, you really need to check out this playlist. I talk about how to play with your right hand, how to play with your left hand, and how to play with both hands together. You really need to check this one out, and subscribe if you haven't already, because there's a lot of great updates on the way. This has been Tim from Lessons on the Web, and I'll talk to you in the next lesson. Thank you so much.